This has been a robot-filled week at the movies. This video was originally going to be about Megalopolis, but I decided I wanted to be positive today, and I also wrote a script for that episode, and I honestly got a headache and just quit. So let's talk about movies I love. First up, Transformers 1, which is going to be a confusing title to communicate to people in the future. Because are you talking about the first Michael Bay? Are you talking about this film? Are you talking about the original? Who knows? When I first saw the trailer for this and heard the announcements about it, I was kind of skeptical. I'm not the biggest Transformers fan. I'm a huge Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles fan. I don't know why I see those kind of in conjunction with one another. The announcements sort of made me nervous just because we weren't asking back Peter Cullen, who's done the voice of Optimus Prime for decades, and replacing him with the typical Hollywood stunt casting with Chris Hemsworth, Scarlett Johansson, Brian Tyree Henry, Keegan-Michael Key. But I am so happy to say that this movie was awesome. It is a beautifully designed and very well animated movie. I was expecting it to be really hard to understand what was going on in terms of where characters were and which robots were which, just because there's so many shiny colors and robotic elements to everybody, and I already had a hard time trying to figure out who was who in the original Michael Bay movies, and that's just because I just never connected with the robots. But here, it just felt so easy to understand that this was this character and this was this character. And I know I was skeptical about the voice cast earlier, but no, they are incredible. Chris Hemsworth and Brian Tyree Henry especially, they do a fantastic job, especially at becoming friends at the beginning and then seeing their tragic turn into mortal enemies, which the whole audience knew was coming, and yet the film is still able to make the audience hate that it's happening. Another character I wasn't expecting to enjoy as much as I did was Bumblebee. I didn't know if he was going to be the annoying sidekick character or something like that. But no, he's hilarious. He's probably gotten the most laughs out of me during the movie. And, I mean, I love Keegan-Michael Key, so I don't know what I was expecting, but I loved it. And I have to say, the last 20 minutes to this movie are golden. Megatron's story throughout the film develops so perfectly. And another thing about the story I really appreciate is that it doesn't really stop to let things marinate. We just keep going from one bit to the next, to the next, to the next. It keeps the story moving in the direction that the audience feels and knows it's going in. It's very surprising, it's very fresh, it's very exciting. And there is an end credits scene to this movie, and yes, I would recommend watching it because I've never seen robots look as cool as they do here. Actually, in one other film that we're going to talk about in a second. Transformers 1 surprised the heck out of me. This is a great movie I didn't expect to love as much as I did. Please go see it. It needs all the love you can get. And another movie that came out, I think, a week after Transformers was The Wild Robot. From the first trailer, I was extremely excited, and it's perfect. This film is directed by Chris Sanders, who did other animated classics like How to Train Your Dragon, Lilo and Stitch, and a movie that I love that others, I don't know if they love. I've never really talked about it with anyone, but The Croods. This film is breathtaking in all standards and meanings of the word. The animation is so beautiful and exciting. Every frame of this movie is something I would hang on a wall. Just like Transformers 1, this movie's story is very quick. It doesn't hold back, and it doesn't keep the audience waiting for moments that they're expecting. They deliver on this beautiful fable of a robot in the complete opposite environment it was built for. And it's amazing, especially the metaphors in this movie to motherhood and parenting and being out of your element. It's just so relatable, and it feels so heartwarming. Something else that I loved, and this is where a lot of the laughs came from in the movie, is how frank this film is about death, which makes a lot of sense because you're in the wild with predators and prey, but it doesn't shy away from any of the harsh storytelling, and I really appreciate that, especially in a movie that is directed towards kids, although it's for the whole family. There were so many moments I had to hold back tears. It was just so wonderful. The music is incredible. My favorite sequence in the whole film is when Roz and Fink are going to save all the animals during the winter season. There's this amazing shot of Roz on the rocks of a crashing ocean on the tides, and you just see her eyes like a lighthouse find the otters. It's, my goodness, it's amazing. Lupita Nyong'o is a magnificent actress, and her voice translates so well to animated films. I hope we see more of her voice acting in the future. And she's joined by a great voice cast, one that me and my dad, when the credits were rolling, were like, oh my god, they're in this movie? That's amazing. This is a beautiful and heartwarming and magnificent film. Please go see it. It deserves all the praise and recognition, and so does Transformers 1, so I'd really recommend seeing both. Maybe not Megalopolis. I don't want to be negative. That's why I did this video instead of the other one. Let's not think about that. Let's just keep thinking about how great the other movies are.